This was always designed to be the laboratory, and Healesville was always been the distillery. So the concept of this was kind of simple. It was basically to have a place here where people could learn to love the drinks that are made with 4 pillars. And in Healesville, you learn to understand what goes into making gin. Learn a bit about the drinks that you make using 4 pillars rather than actually how you make 4 pillars, if that makes any sense at all. Was it different to what it would have been had we opened just in a normal world? Yeah, 100%. Look, we've kept everyone safe. We've got really good COVID policies here. I never thought we'd build a beautiful cork wall to put all sorts of exhibits up. And I never thought the first thing I put on the cork wall are QR codes and COVID safe policies and all that sort of stuff. So nothing is normal, and I don't know when it will go back to normal, but it's certainly been an unusual time to open a bar. It's something we're not likely to forget anytime soon.
So one of the things we didn't want to do, and one of the things you'll notice about this bar is it's not heavily branded as 4 pillars. The idea here, I suppose, is just to showcase the variety and the diversity of the stuff we've been making over the last few years and not oversell people. You're meant to be able to come here and have a great cocktail and not necessarily be smashed over the head by brand 4 pillars. This site, for those people who aren't in Sydney, this is a reasonably well-known building in Surry Hills. It's called Bustle Brothers Building, and it's had well-known butchers in it. It's had a very famous bike shop in it. Rafa bike shop was in it. It also had Bang, which was a pretty well-recognised Bangladeshi restaurant in it. So it's a building that by no means is iconic or anything like that, but it's a pretty well-recognised. It's a very beautiful building, an old red brick building from the 20s, maybe the early 30s. We were literally sitting across the road having lunch at Bartolo, just talking stuff, and I walked out and went, wow, how good would it be if we were thinking about what we would do in Sydney, and I saw a for lease sign on this building, and that's how it started. And it took us, that's well over a year ago, that's probably 18 months ago from now. You know, you can buy pretty much whatever you want from the 4 Pillars world here.
At a place like this, you need to be able to buy stuff that you can't buy anywhere else. We need to be able to produce stuff on site so it's legitimate rather than faux. Decided we're going to make it like a seasonal Sydney gin. So we do some gin making classes here in the laboratory where we use Eileen, our still, we make some gin that we think represents Sydney. It's the first time we've ever made a gin run in Healesville. So the idea of it is that, you know, we're using some botanicals, you know, so for the spring gin, for instance, we've got jasmine in it, we've got some tangelos, lemons, we've got some sort of flavours, some sandalwood, that we think gives it a lovely spring, Sydney sort of sense to it. And it's something that's really distinctively different to what we would make in Healesville. We're going to put a nice label on it come summer.
Yeah, events are small and very, very personal. I did a masterclass yesterday for 3 guests. You can get up close and very personal at 4 Pillars right now. So the most important element here is Eileen, which is our original experimental still, which was based in Healesville for the last 4 and a bit years and moved up here in the second week on the June long weekend, as it happens. So this is a Carl still, about 70 litre pot and column still, makes incredibly beautiful gin. And Wes and I make gin on Eileen, named after Matt Jones's mum. So all of our stills are named after important people in the business's mums. So we make beautiful gin on this. My advice to people at home is always to keep it as simple as you possibly can. I mean, if you want to make a great martini at home, make sure your glasses are frozen, make sure your ingredients are really cold, make sure your ice is better than Bell's Pure Ice coming out of the servo. You know, like just if you get the basics right and get great mixers and have fresh vermouth if you're making martinis and you're making Negronis at home, like fresh vermouth, you're just going to make really much more exciting and interesting drinks, and people are going to think you're much more clever as well. I think if we could send any message to anyone now, it would be just to come in here, leave your baggage and disappointment at the door, and just come and have a really chill time.